what the latest in the market is the 2009 release. Whereas PMP, it's also an acronym which stands for Project Management Professional. PRINCE2 is a structured project management method and is endorsed by the UK government. So if you see OGC, it stands for Office of Government Commerce, because this methodology was found by OGC, and it is the project management standards for public projects. The exam is administered by APM Group. It's a PRINCE2, if I explain, it is a structured project management method based on experience drawn from thousands of projects and from the contribution of countless project sponsors, PMs, project teams, academicians, trainers, consultants, and so on. The list goes on. It is a non-proprietary method and has emerged worldwide as one of the widely accepted methods for managing projects. This is largely due to the fact that PRINCE2 is truly generic. It can be applied to any project, regardless of project scale, type, organization, geography, culture, style, whatever. The name PRINCE2 and not PRINCE3 or similar is maintained for years to indicate that the method does remain faithful to its principles. Okay, in PRINCE2 you have to understand principles are non-negotiable always. Now coming to PMP. PMP is a credential offered by PMI and is most popular project management standard endorsed by US, and the exam is administered by PMI. Let me tell you a bit about PMI. PMI stands for the Project Management Institute, and it is the leading non-profit organization which is devoted to project management profession. It has a global coverage with members from various leading organizations. Each city, each area has chapters and active interactive groups. So they're very much into chat groups, a lot of interactions, newsletters, publications. You will find a lot from PMI. You can go to PMI's website and you can become a member, and you will be you can access a lot of good material. You will be invited to interactive material, etc. PMP certification is amongst the most coveted certifications globally. It's terribly popular in India. Almost 200 people pass PMP every day. And if I give you some statistics, I think we have close to 4 lakh PMPs all over the globe, or maybe more. Right this very minute, I think two or three people would have passed the PMP while our session is ongoing. Again, PMP is also industry generic, but it has seen a lot of popularity in IT sector. Now, if I look at the differentiators, the key differentiators, PRINCE2 is process-based. It is process-based approach to project management, whereas PMP is knowledge-based. Knowledge-based approach because it always seeks on the knowledge of the prior knowledge of project management, and in order to continue the knowledge of project management, so it's based on knowledge. Now, as I talk to you, what is the right time to do a certification? This point would help you take a call. PRINCE2 certification requires no prior knowledge or experience in project management. So for people who want to change their line, who want to get into the line of project management, students, MBAs, any career that you may have today, but if you want to move into the field of project management, maybe PRINCE2 certification is a good way to start. PMP certification is very good for people who are current project managers, who have a well-established background of managing projects, but now they want to put a stamp on it, because PMP requires at least 4,500 hours of project management experience, which is close to 3 years of project management. And it's not just a verbal talk. You would require to show proofs about the projects that you have managed, and it would be validated with the organization. So you need to be experienced to become eligible for the certificate by PMI and to gain benefits from the certificate on the marketplace. If you aren't, PMI will not allow you to sit for the exam. And if you fake your experience, then God save you, because there's going to be an inconsistency between your title and your aptitude. If you are experienced, the PMP certification will give the right signal of proficiency to the marketplace, and it will set expectations that you will hopefully be able to deliver what you have promised. We have to understand Prince2 is prescriptive and PMBOK is non-prescriptive. So Prince2 is a good one to start with because it will prescribe things, and PMBOK is a better methodology to start when you already have some experience. Now we come to some definition of Prince2 and PMP. Prince2 is a series of management processes defining what must be done, when and how it must be done, and by whom over the life of a project. So if you put it in a nutshell, Prince2 talks about what and why of the project management, the what and the why. On the other side, PMP focuses more on how. PMP talks about core practices, wider range of techniques that can be applied to manage a project. So it answers the question how to do something. Okay. I move to my next differentiation. Prince2 is an integrated set. You have to imagine it is a mesh of processes and themes. They are not isolated silos that can be selectively applied in your organizations. The principles are the fundamentals, but all in all, Prince2 is take it or leave it, but it comes as a whole. There are no plug and play. On the other side, PMP, each topic area can be referred to in isolation of others. It's a plug and play model. So you may choose, if you have a scope management requirement in your organization, so you can just take the knowledge area for scope out of the 9 knowledge areas and go for it. But Prince2 is an integrated set of process and themes, so they have to come together. Although there is a beautiful principle called tailoring, which does allow you a flexibility of reducing certain things, but I cannot explain that in detail, but that is a USP of Prince2. Now, another major difference between the two frameworks is Prince2 defines the roles of everyone involved in a project. It uses the principle define roles and responsibilities when we focus on this area, because Prince2 correctly believes that all people in the organization are stakeholders by one way or another. So it defines the role in this temporary project organization for all involved. Whereas PMP focuses only on the project manager role. So it is project manager centric. Users of PMBOK are sometimes frustrated as people may incorrectly view the project manager as a superman or a superwoman. That is the planner, decision maker, problem solver, HR manager, etc. Am I audible? I see some message. I hope I am audible to everybody. I'll continue.
Yeah, you are audible.
Now, what I was saying that in PMBOK, it is expected, the project manager is expected to be a superman because everything is on his shoulders. This may be common in construction industry where PMBOK has its origins. However, in many business projects, which for example may rely on IT-based solutions, the functional or financial authority does not lie with the PM. So I also support here that PM may not be the right person to blame if you do not have funds for your project or if you do not have resources for your project, because that power lies with the senior management. In this business environment, project managers are not always best placed to make the key decisions. In Prince2, the responsibility of the project is with the senior management because they are directing the project. So in the name of project board, and the role of PM is to manage the project on a day-to-day basis on behalf of the project board or the senior management. So project manager is an executor, whereas the decision-making authority remains with the senior level. At this point of time, I throw my third surprise question at you, which is, what is the III theorem in the context of stakeholders? I repeat my question. What are the III in context of project stakeholders? I move on with my rest of differences. Whenever you have time, you can type in your answers on the website. One moment. Okay, I move to my next difference, which is specialist aspects and detailed techniques are not elaborated in Prince2 due to the generic nature of the framework. Whereas detailed techniques are well documented in PMP. So you will find PERT analysis, EVM, earned value management, top-down, bottom-up. You'll have all kind of estimation techniques or calculation techniques available to you by virtue of the various techniques which are explained. I move to my next subject. Now we have to know that Prince2 is a de facto standard method for UK with a strong presence in Europe, Australia and other English-speaking countries. Currently very high demand in India since 2010. So it's catching up very fast in India. And PMP is by far the leading approach in North America and almost worldwide, because it has been a kind of a de facto standard for project management. So it depends on what you need, depends on what kind of clients your organization have or what is asked for. Now, secondly, I want to share with you that what does it mean when you are a Prince2 practitioner or when you are a PMP? Being a Prince2 practitioner demonstrates that you master the Prince2 methodology and have the necessary skills, sorry, I've missed the word skills, to apply the knowledge in real life case scenarios, because this is what the examination tests, the application of your knowledge. Whereas PMP, globally recognized and demanded, the PMP demonstrates that you have the experience, education and competency to successfully lead and direct projects, including all the techniques. With this, we move to our last slides on differentiation, and then we'll move to the certification information. The unique selling proposition of Prince2 is the tailoring approach. This is what I mentioned on my previous slide. This is one of the principles of Prince2, tailor to suit the project environment, which ensures that the project controls are based on project scale, complexity, importance, capability, and risk. So it recognizes, Prince2 recognizes the fact that they cannot provide a one-size-fits-all. It's not one-size-fits-all formula to project success. It is a flexible framework that can readily be tailored to any type or size of project. So I think this is one of the big strengths that they have. PMP being a knowledge area base, it does not offer any such flexibility of, but what it offers is that you can plug and play and you can take knowledge areas as and when you require. Okay. Prince2 does not cover in its scope specialist aspect, detailed techniques or leadership soft skills, whereas in PMP all the leadership capability, even professional ethics, social responsibilities are well covered. We have to understand Prince2 is an integrated approach. So if you use most of Prince2's approach to a specific piece in the first round of implementation, you can add features in plug and play. Like project boards can be powerful when implemented. You can start to use product descriptions and so on. Business case is one of the buzzwords here. Prince2 is based on 7-7-7 principle, that is 7 principles, 7 themes and 7 processes. In addition, there are only 2 techniques which are also not any calculation techniques, but they are more styles or disciplines which have been advised. One is the product-based planning. So you would have heard the term called work breakdown structure. So what Prince2 offers is the product breakdown structure on which is based the product-based planning. And then another very powerful technique to customers' quality expectations is the QRT, which is also called the quality review technique. Besides this, PMP is instead based on 9 knowledge areas. It has 5 process groups and 42 processes. And for if you have to study, you will have to, this is the way you will study them. Another thing that I would like to share with my experience is that Prince2 is more like simple English. It's a common sense based methodology, requires no marking up. It is very easy to comprehend and remember. So it's like, if you are in a particular scenario, how would you behave if you want the project to succeed? So it's very, it comes on to you. It's very simple to understand. Whereas I feel that PMP deals with detailed techniques, so it has a lot of calculations, formulas, it requires marking up. The inputs and outputs to each process is expected to clear the certification. You have to do a bit of memorization there, which can be a challenge at times. The decision for an organization, now I'm talking at an organization level, if an organization wants to go the Prince2 way, what is absolutely mandatory is the senior management commitment, because this is one methodology which is applied top-down. So one of the critical success factors for the success of Prince2 in any organization is by far the commitment that the senior most management shows towards the success of this methodology. Whereas PMP techniques can be applied by the project managers, creating a standard culture of project management. So it's more bottom up. Although it is good to have the corporate policies made and then cascaded, but PMP does not stop you from using techniques at any given point of time. But for Prince2, that won't be possible because it requires a lot of project board commitment, approvals, because you require them as directors of the project. And now I